the battlefield.
I can't describe what it was like. I thought that was very close. I rolled over, and when I looked down, I realised that my right foot had gone. I was probably laying there for 3 to 4 hours before I actually was administered with any fluids. And I was losing blood all the time I was doing it. When somebody asked would I make it, it was no way.
David Gray was just 18 years old during the Falklands War. After having his foot blown off, frostbite was the least of his worries. He should have died, but he didn't. Amazingly, he wasn't the exception. Many soldiers with horrific injuries survived the long wait for medical care.
There were 580 wounded soldiers in the land battle under the most desperate conditions, and many of them waiting hours for treatment. And yet from that figure of 580, only 4 of them died of their wounds.
The one thing all these casualties experienced was the extreme cold.
The cold I can remember probably more than anything. Numbness, fingers, face.
There's no doubt that something happened in the Falklands War. Something rather magical.
Jim Ryan is another Falklands veteran.
Many of them should have died, but didn't. They probably fell down, lay very quiet. They will have bled out significantly, but not to the point of death. Perhaps sufficient fall-off in blood pressure to form the first clot, the best clot.
But then the cold took over, slowing their metabolism down, reducing the oxygen requirement of their bodies. This meant they could survive despite massive blood loss.
I think in this situation, and many people would agree with me, hypothermia, a mild degree of hypothermia, is positively protective. I think it just slows the whole thing down.
These amazing revelations in the Falklands kick-started research into cold therapy. Now, some hospitals are using it to save trauma victims' lives. But could the cold help prevent injury in the first place?